Namaskar and welcome to Express News. I'm Mark Lynn. Let's begin. The officer trainees of the Indian Revenue Service, the 78th batch, called on President of India Draupadi Murmu at the Rashtrapati Bhavan today. Addressing the officers, the President said that the job of the Indian Revenue Service officers is one of the most important functions for governance and welfare. She highlighted the importance of taxes for a vibrant economy. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaffirmed his government's commitment to strengthening the MSME sector, calling it a key driver of economic growth. Prime Minister Modi launched 2 new missions to further boost manufacturing and exports. The Prime Minister said that the government's focus is on better technology and high-quality products. Addressing a post-budget webinar on MSME as an engine of growth, the Prime Minister highlighted that India is being seen as a major growth center amid a phase of global political uncertainty. Prime Minister added that the R&D has played a crucial role in India's manufacturing journey and needs further advancement and acceleration. Prime Minister Modi he also visited the Wildlife Rescue, Rehabilitation and Conservation Centre in Vantara, Gujarat. Prime Minister explored various facilities at the centre and closely interacted with various species of animals that have been rehabilitated. Guyana's Prime Minister, Brigadier retired Mark Phillips, arrived in Delhi. On Tuesday, he is attending the World Sustainable Development Summit 2025. India's Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Ranveer Jaiswal stated that the Guyana Prime Minister's visit to India is going to add further momentum to the strong and growing multifaceted relationship between the two nations. New Delhi hosted the 5th edition of the BRICS Chamber of Commerce and Industry Women Empowerment Summit on Tuesday. The program felicitated the outstanding contributions of women in business, entrepreneurship and leading across BRICS and beyond. The veteran leader, Kiran Bedi, was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award. India on Monday slammed the United Nations Human Rights Chief, Volker Turk, for unfounded and baseless comments on Kashmir and Manipur in his global update. India's representative to the United Nations, Arindam Bagchi, stressed that Turk's comments did not reflect the ground realities of India. He also urged a better understanding of India's democratic and pluralistic ethos. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurated the DRDO MHA Collaboration Conference cum exhibition in New Delhi today. Addressing the seminar on advanced technologies for internal security, the Defence Minister said, "Today the country is facing threats like terrorism, separatism, left-wing extremism, communal tensions and trans-border illegal immigration." India's Health Minister JP Nadda chaired the 9th meeting of the Mission Steering Group of the National Health Mission at Bharat Mandapam today. Union Ministers Rajiv Ranjan Singh and Annapurna Devi attended a national workshop of women elected representatives of Panchayati Raj institutions in New Delhi. A primer on law and gender-based violence was launched during this event. On the occasion of the 56th Raising Day of the Indian Central Industrial Reserve Force or Security Force, on the 7th of March, the CISF is going to organize a mega coastal cyclothon drive. It's along both the eastern and the western coasts of the country. India's Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhupinder Yadav, has delivered his address. This is the second day of the 12th Regional 3R and Circular Economy Forum in the Asia and the Pacific in Jaipur. Speaking at the event, the minister said that there is an opportunity for India to convert the large amounts of waste and generate reasonable solutions for a sustainable existence. The minister also said that the circular economy has solutions for every sector, organization and even individuals. India has also integrated climate change within the process. The Indian equity indices ended on a negative note in the volatile session on Tuesday. At close, the Sensex was down 96.01 points to settle at 72,989.93. The Nifty was down 36.65 points to close at 22,082.65. The Indian rupee ended 5 paise higher at 87.27 per dollar on Tuesday. Gold futures maturing on April 4 were priced at 86,084 per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for 5th May maturity stood at Rs 95,089 per kg on the MCX. Markets across the globe have literally hit the panic button following Donald Trump's announcement of tariffs. Japan's Nikkei nosedived 2.2%, Taiwan's benchmark fell 1.3%, and Hong Kong's Hang Seng dropped 1.8%. Technology stocks were the hardest hit. S&P 500 slid 1.8%, the Dow Jones dropped 649 points, and the Nasdaq plunged 2.6%. Oil prices extended their losses on Tuesday following reports that OPEC Plus will proceed with a planned output increase in April this year. US is sweeping 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico came into effect on Tuesday, with reciprocal tariffs starting April 2. Speaking at the White House, President Trump said that there is no room for negotiation. Trump has doubled the tariffs on Chinese imports from 10% to 20%. China has swiftly also retaliated against these fresh US tariffs. They themselves have announced 10% to 15% hikes on import levies covering a range of American products, agricultural products and food products, 25% also on US firms under export and investment restrictions. Canada also announced retaliatory tariffs. It said that it will start with 25% tariffs on US imports worth 30 billion Canadian dollars from Tuesday. US President Donald Trump has suggested that a deal allowing US investment in Ukraine's minerals could help despite tensions with Kiev. The US President Donald Trump has ordered a pause on US military aid to Ukraine on Monday following a tense Oval Office meeting aiming to push Ukrainian President Zelensky toward peace talks with Russia. Donald Trump has reacted sharply to the Ukrainian President Zelensky's warning that the conflict could last a long time. Expressing his disagreement, Trump said that Zelensky better not be right. The European Commission has proposed 150 billion euros in joint EU borrowing. This is to provide defense loans to member states. Russia has said that the United States' decision to pause military aid to Ukraine would be the best contribution to peace, but emphasized that there's a need now for more clarity on this move. Russia also stated that any normalization of relations with the United States would require Washington to lift sanctions on Moscow. Added Summit has adopted an Egyptian plan for Gaza, countering Trump's proposal for the Middle East Riviera in the enclave, has called on the international community and financial institutions for quick support. Israeli forces carried out airstrikes on a military strike in Kandahar. This is northwest Latakia province of Syria, targeting arms stored by the previous Syrian government. Israel on Tuesday signaled readiness to move to the second phase of the Gaza ceasefire deal. It has demanded full demilitarization for phase 2 of Gaza truce. The European Union President Ursula von der Leyen on Tuesday unveiled an €800 billion defense initiative aimed at strengthening Europe's military capabilities amid rising security threats. The EU President, in a statement, has outlined the Rearm Europe plan. It's seeking to boost national defense spending, also to streamline joint procurement and to enhance military support for Ukraine. In southern Bolivia, at least 31 people have died after a bus plunged into a ravine. This is after a collision with a pickup truck. 22 people were injured in this accident. Investigators said that they suspected the pickup truck driver had caused the collision by crossing lanes and ramming headlong into the bus. Protests erupted in Bangladesh as demonstrators burned an effigy of the Home Affairs advisor Jahangir Alam Chowdhury. They are demanding, in fact, his resignation over remarks allegedly justifying the attack on two women in Dhaka. The Serbian opposition lawmakers have thrown smoke grenades and tear gas inside the parliament. They did so on Tuesday, protesting against the government and also to the support demonstrating students. North Korea has slammed the United States for political and military provocations over the visit of a US Navy aircraft carrier to the South Korean port of Busan. We're going to take a short break now. We'll be back with more on Express News. Stay with us. Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India. Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Thousands were evacuated in Japan as the worst wildfire in decades continues to burn. Multiple large military helicopters were deployed to the disaster areas to combat the fire. Japan's Fire and Disaster Management Agency, they've said the fire has spread over 2,600 hectares of land and 4,596 people have been ordered to evacuate. The firefighters struggled to contain the wildfire in northeastern Japan, Yokohama. What's happened there is that they've dropped water from helicopters on blazes in Japan's Ofunato. The blaze near Ofunato in Iwate Prefecture had engulfed 2,600 hectares of land on Tuesday. The authorities have warned that the fire could spread further. Water drops helped to fight wildfires in South Carolina. More than 4,000 acres statewide have burned in almost 200 fires, prompting the Governor Henry McMaster to declare a state of emergency. Intense rains have caused floods and rivers to overflow in northern Peru. The residents were forced to move out of their houses as the government issued a red alert. The floodwaters in Peru affected some 150,000 people and 3,000 houses and caused damage in public spaces such as the dilapidated Virgen del Carmen cemetery. Houses in parts of Indonesia's capital Jakarta were submerged up to their roofs and residents were wading through the chest-deep floodwater. Over 1,000 residents have been affected. Jakarta Deputy Governor Rano Karno visited one of the worst-hit areas in Lebak Bulus in South Jakarta on Tuesday to assess the situation and to engage with the affected residents. Heavy rains had battered Spain, flooding roads and leaving numerous cars stranded. The weathermen had issued the highest level of alert for rain in Castellón. Residents of Spain's Gran Canaria, they've also joined forces with emergency services and they are clearing the mud which was deposited on the streets by the torrential downpour. The Spanish Meteorological Department has also issued a yellow alert for the Canary Islands. The rare tropical cyclone swirled off eastern Australia as well. Weather officials said that the storm is likely to cross the coast late on Thursday and early Friday, striking land between metropolitan Brisbane and the tourist haven of Sunshine Coast. Thailand's Nakhon Ratchasima. This is a province and it grapples with an earlier than expected drought. The condition, in fact, has prompted the provincial governor there to issue urgent measures across all 32 districts. Thailand's Buriram province is also facing severe water shortages. 26 villages have been affected by these prolonged dry spells since late last year. In India, Doordarshan in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, it was covered with a thick blanket of snow after the region received heavy snowfall. This is in fact the one on traffic on the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway has been temporarily halted after a landslide in the Mehad area of Ramban. The region is experiencing severe weather conditions, with Banihal receiving fresh snowfall. The entire region of India's Lahore and Spiti was covered in snow after heavy snowfall. The recent snowfall attracted a large influx of tourists to Simla and other hill stations. The India Meteorological Department has issued an orange alert with a thunderstorm and lightning with heavy rain and snowfall over Jammu region and Himachal Pradesh. A grand pre-Holi celebration was held at Ramanreti Ashram. This is in Mathura in India. Now, vibrant colors were smeared on faces. People danced and they were dancing to the beats of traditional music. The air was filled with laughter and the streets in Mathura echoed with chants of Holi Hai and Radhe Radhe. This is as everyone came together to celebrate the arrival of spring, the victory of good over evil. The artist Rika Wu is keeping Hong Kong's heritage alive. She's dressed in a delicate embroidered costume and a headdress adorned with glittering sequins. Wu is one of the dwindling numbers of performers who are keeping up the Cantonese opera alive. Her passion, in fact, for this is also inspiring a new generation of enthusiasts. With an origin that dates back to the 13th century, the Cantonese opera has long been an integral part of Hong Kong's cultural heritage. Dressed in embroidered costumes and mounted on horses, revelers were riding through the Brazilian city of Bonfim. This is a tradition that turns the war between the Moors and the Christians into a festival. Rio de Janeiro's downtown, it was filled with music, flower and bugs. It says, "Come here, my flower." That's what the bugs were saying in the block party. The flowery costumes dominated the party where revelers danced to the rhythm of batucada music. Revelers in the Brazilian town of São Santano de Olivedas celebrated Carnival by exalting their local traditions. In fact, the people wore colorful clothes, masks and bull suits and were part of the typically representing the bulls, the Bal Ai Mascara festivities. These boy festivals, what they do is they represent bulls, as we said, and other local folklore. These characters, they come together with the indigenous community's local traditions and mixes it with Portuguese traditions. The Beija Flor Samba School captivated audiences with a vibrant performance at the Rio de Janeiro Carnival, parading through the famed Samba Dome. The streets were filled with rhythmic beats of samba as dancers swirled and leaped to the infectious rhythms that define what's known as Brazil's music and famous festivals. The revelers, in fact, have made a flowery mess in Greek as well. There's a carnival tradition there. They were armed with bags of flour. The participants donned plastic suits and goggles. White spectators, in fact, they were there also on the other side of the town square to avoid this mess. The French designer Victor Weinsanto unveiled a completely frosty autumn-winter 2025-26 collection, accompanied for the occasion by the singer and comedian Camille Lelouch. One of Hong Kong's most historic theatres, the Sunbeam Theatre, closed its doors for the last time on Tuesday. Over 1,000 Cantonese opera fans had gathered to bid farewell to this iconic venue. It was founded in 1972, the North Point landmark. It is long regarded as the cornerstone of Cantonese opera. It's set to be transformed into a church following its final curtain call. The Colombian singer Shakira greeted fans outside a hotel where she was staying, as she is in Santiago for concerts, but the concerts were cancelled in the Chilean capital. The fans cheered and chanted her name as she exited the hotel just to speak to them. Kristen Ritter has joined the cast of the show Dexter Resurrection. Now she is going to be starring in the Showtime series as a guest star, and she's named Mia. The International Indian Film Academy, the IFA, it's set to mark its Golden Jubilee of the iconic film Sholay. It's gone 50 years. The organizers of IFA, they have decided to organize an exclusive screening of the film at Jaipur's legendary Raj Mandir Cinema. Australia posted 264 against India in the first semi-final of the Champions Trophy in Dubai on Tuesday. The Australian captive Steve Smith scored 73. Alex Carey slammed another half-century against India in this first semi-final. The Indian cricket team were wearing black armbands during the semi-final of the Champions Trophy because they are honouring the late spinner Padmakar Shivalkar. The Indian left-arm spinner Padmakar Shivalkar passed away at the age of 84 in Mumbai. Shivalkar played 124 first-class matches. South Africa will be taking on New Zealand in the second semi-final of the Champions Trophy in Lahore on Wednesday. England's legendary pace bowler James Anderson aims to play in the 100 for the first time. It's a cricket league in the United Kingdom that is played in 100-ball format. The World Championships bronze medalist H.S. Pranoy is going to be in action at the Orleans Masters Badminton Tournament in the Orleans city of France. This is happening on Wednesday. Khelo India Winter Games 2025 is going to take place from the 9th to the 12th of March in Gulmarg. That event, as we remember, was postponed because there wasn't enough snow earlier. A total of 16 countries are participating in the second Asian Yogasana Championship. It's scheduled to be held in New Delhi, March 29 to 31. India is going to be hosting the first ever World Para-Athletics Grand Prix from March 11 to 13 in New Delhi. The event is going to witness the participation of about 20 countries. Andy Murray is joining Novak Djokovic's coaching team as he attempts to win the Indian Wells title for the first time in almost a decade. The Brazilian forward Vinicius Jr. Reaffirmed his commitment to Real Madrid, brushing aside speculation about a potential move to the Saudi Pro League. Arsenal are facing PSV Eindhoven in the first leg of the last 16 match of the Champions League on Tuesday. Lille aim to bounce back from a heavy 4-1 league loss against Paris Saint-Germain when they meet at Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League last 16. This is the first leg tie on Tuesday. The former FIFA president Sepp Blatter said that he was not guilty of fraud when he appeared in a Swiss court. That's all we have in this edition of Express News. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.